Texas Country Live. My name is Rod Binion. We will showcase the best of the local singer-songwriters, giving them the opportunity to bring their original music straight to you, the viewer. I will be asking them questions so you can learn personal information about your favorite local artist. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Texas Country Live. My name is Rod Binion. I'm your host today. My guest here, Mr. Mike Wilson, good friend of mine from Huffman, Texas, currently residing in Magnolia. He's an amazing singer-songwriter, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear his deep voice. He has a unique voice, and you're going to love it, I promise you. I want to thank some of my sponsors, McCrary Automotive in Huffman, Texas, 59 Hangout in Porter, Triangle Express in Belleville, Texas. McCrary's Auto Repair, LLC. We work hard to earn your trust and loyalty. We know how important it is to find a Huffman car service you can rely on. So your satisfaction is our top priority each and every day. McCrary's Auto Repair, 3731 Trent Road, Huffman, Texas. McCrary's Auto Repair. Come feel the difference. 59 Hangout, 23736 US 59, Suite F in Porter, Texas. Y'all come see us. Pool tournaments, dart leagues, and cold beer. Check us out on Facebook. 59 Hangout. Come hang out with us. 281-704-7177. Triangle Express for all your hotshot flatbed shipping needs. Triangle Express is a veteran-owned and locally operated business. At Triangle Express, we get up there on time, every time. Triangle Express, we deliver. Now hiring owner-operators. Call 979-595-8871. Okay, everybody, we're back. Rod Binion here, your host, and my buddy Mike Wilson. You ready to kick this thing off, Mike?
Sure am, bro.
We're going to start off with a few warm-ups, okay?
Sure.
And I'm going to ask you a question. I'll give you a choice between two answers, and you just pick one off the top of your head.
Sure.
You ready?
Shoot.
All right, let's see. Hag or straight?
Straight.
Jones or Twitty?
Twitty.
Hank Jr., Hank Sr.?
Junior.
Would you rather play at the Grand Ole Opry or an 80,000-seat arena?
Give me the Opry.
Me too, brother. I'm with you, man.
Give me the Opry, man.
I'm with you. Acoustic or electric?
I have to say electric.
Fender or Gibson?
Fender, can't you?
Right.
Right.
Skull or Copenhagen?
Since I don't do either, I'll go back to the 8th grade. Let's go. Yes.
Hunting or fishing?
Fishing.
Football or baseball?
You can stop right there. Football, my friend.
Right.
So.
How about NASCAR or IndyCar?
NASCAR.
All right, we'll finish it out. AC/DC or Skinnerd?
AC/DC.
Okay. Sinead O'Connor or Jewel?
Jewel.
Jewel, right
Jewel.
on. Okay, great.
Jewel.
You know what, man? Let's go ahead and kick off with that and let you go ahead and do one. I'm so excited about people hearing your voice.
Already, huh?
Yeah, man, if you don't mind. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah, I'm great.
Why don't you go ahead and kick one off? And,
Sure.
What you going to do?
I'm going to do Crazy, y'all.
Crazy.
Yeah, Crazy.
And what's it about?
Crazy is a song that you could say I was on a job site, my friend.
Right.
Nobody around. I looked down on the floorboard and I seen a little piece of paper and I had a pen right beside me.
Right.
And on the glass of the Traco that I was running, yeah, heavy equipment operator
right.
I was, I started jotting down some words. I already had this music that I wrote already.
Right.
And it was a jingle in my head all day operating, loading trucks.
Sure.
And I wrote down words. In about 15 minutes, I wrote this song.
Right on, man.
And it's called Crazy. And I hope y'all enjoy it.
Yeah, knock it out, bud.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mike Wilson doing Crazy.
Me and my lady are walking hand in hand, living the lives for the first time. 20 years ago, down in Mexico, I fell for a girl down south. Well, I I was young and she was younger. I couldn't believe the spell I was under. I went crazy, crazy for loving you. I know that it's sad but true. I'm falling for you. And I know, well, everybody tells me so. I'm never gonna let you go until I die. Well, I saw you, and you saw me. We sat at that old Cypress Street. Her hair was long and brown, nearly touching the ground. I couldn't believe to see. We went crazy, crazy for loving you. I know that it's sad but true. I'm falling for you. And I know, well, everybody tells me so. I'm never gonna let you go until I die. Go boys!
Right on, man.
Crazy, crazy for loving you. I know that it's sad but true. I'm falling for you. And I know, well, everybody tells me so. I'm never gonna let you go until I die.
What I'm talking about. Heck yeah, man. I dig that song, man. I love it.
Well, I thank you, Ross.
Great job, man. Great job. Well, you know, man, I can't wait to, get some feedback.
Right.
Love to hear you sing, man. That's just awesome, man.
I appreciate it, man. A lot of hard work. All I have to say to the people out there, never give up.
Right.
If you're stuck in a rut, well, stay in that rut till you get out, but
Right.
don't give up.
Right. Well, I know when I first kicked it off and I first started playing singing, I was terrible. I couldn't sing for nothing,
Right,
man.
right.
But, it's just like anything else. You learn to sing. And I didn't sing because I thought I was good. I sang because it made me feel good.
Right.
Right. And it was
It's
just
all from here, guy.
It was just something
You
that I
can read whatever notes on a piece of paper.
Right.
And you can put 10 musicians there, and they'll see it 10 different ways.
Right.
It's all from the heart.
Sure.
So
Everybody's different. Everybody feels things
Yes.
differently, and they interpret things differently.
Right. You could take the song and sing it, and you'd have a whole different meaning.
It was always amazing to me that if I did, there's a song that I wrote called Firefly Light.
Right.
And I can't tell you how many times somebody
Wonderful song.
thank you.
Yes.
But I can't tell you how many times somebody came up to me and said, man, you had to have written that song for me and my wife because we're going through this situation,
Right.
and start telling me about it, and it has absolutely nothing to do with what I wrote the song about. Everybody interprets words differently. When you say something, you might, and 10 different people may interpret it 10 different ways. You never know. And that's the thing about songwriting. It applies to so many different situations. The same few words do.
I've had a song that touched the biggest, meanest guy.
Right.
I stand 6'5". This guy made me look like a little midget.
Are you 6'5"?
I am 6'5".
Wow.
And I got off the stage, and I did original mine. It was called Stay.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell you now, this big burly biker guy says, "Come here, buddy," and he says, "Come over here to the bar. I need to talk to you." And he has tears running down his face.
Right.
He said, "What was that song you just did?"
Right.
I said, "That's one of mine. It's called Stay." He says, I gotta have a favor I'd ask you.
Right.
I said, "What's this?" He says, "I need you to play this to my wife. It means so much to me what you just said in song, my wife needs to hear this.
Right.
And he got his cell phone, he opened it up, put it on speakerphone, and he dials her number. He said, will you play this song?
Over the phone, right?
Get that acoustic over there and come over here on this bar stool right here and sing it to her. This is what I mean.
Right.
And so he called her up, and the first thing he heard out of his mouth was, "You sorry, blah, 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 blah." I'm like, oh my God, this is triple X and vulgar, and he says, wait a minute, baby, wait a minute. He says, this is for you. He says, it's by a song. And I did that song, Stay.
Right.
That I'll do here in a little bit. And I tell you what, after I got done playing, all you could hear was a bunch of blubbering. He grabbed the phone off the bar. He says, baby, I love you. I'm coming home. Almost a year they've been separated.
Wow.
I found out.
Wow.
He hangs up there. He's in tears. He's blubbering. This big old guy,
Sure.
Like I said, I'm a big guy in this. I'm looking up to this guy.
Right.
He grabs his wallet. He says, how much do I owe you? And I'm like, you don't owe me that. He starts throwing hundreds on the floor.
There you go.
And the whole floor is covered in hundreds.
Yeah.
And I gather all his money up, and I gather up, I hand it to him. I said, this one's on me.
Right.
I said, go home to your wife.
You're a good man.
For that song to touch somebody, I got paid, bro.
Well, it's just as
that's
rewarding
what I'm saying
yes,
for
you as
that's
it
what
was
I'm
for
getting
him,
at. So that's,
and a good song is that way.
Yeah.
I said it before. If you don't feel it, how can you expect somebody else to feel
exactly.
it? Like what I said a while ago, the words meaning have different interpretations.
Right.
It doesn't really matter.
Right.
And as far as I'm concerned, how they interpret the song, what matters is it touches their heart.
Right.
And they believe what I say, and that's important to me.
Yeah.
And that's important. It should be, and it is for the most part important to every songwriter out there. Every songwriter dreams about writing a song like you were just talking about that truly affects somebody emotionally, affects their heart.
When I seen him,
it changes things.
When I seen him get on that Fat Boy,
right,
and leave that part, blubbering, still blubbering,
right, still
leaving. It was a bar in Huffman, Texas. We're having that. And he hit FM 2100 heading towards Crosby. And I think I still seen the tears on the highway.
There you go.
You understand?
Well, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, so when it touched me like that, no money could pay.
Oh, man.
Like
yeah,
that.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
it got nothing to do with money.
It has nothing to do with money then.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, though, man.
Yeah.
It is. Well, I'll tell you what, man. Let's go ahead and kick off this interview. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Texas Country Live. My name's Rod Binion. We're going to be back here shortly.
And I'm Mike Wilson.
Mike Wilson here. We're going to do a little interview with him and give you the opportunity to learn something about him. And we'll be right back.
Texas Country Live, brought to you by Performance Connections and Thread Rep LLC for all your torque turn and thread rep needs. McCrary's Auto Repair LLC. We work hard to earn your trust and loyalty. We know how important it is to find a Huffman car service you can rely on. So your satisfaction is our top priority each and every day. McCrary's Auto Repair, 3731 Trent Road, Huffman, Texas. McCrary's Auto Repair. Come feel the difference.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back. Texas Country Live. I'm here with my buddy Mike Wilson.
Hello, everybody.
We're going to ask him a few questions about himself and try to get Mike to open up to us and give us a little insight.
Sure.
As to reasons why you do what you do. I mean, a lot of people are curious.
Sure.
And so, man, that's kind of what I've designed these questions around. So, exactly, where were you born at, man?
I was born in Long Beach, California.
Right on.
And I was moved immediately up north in California in the mountains.
Wow.
You could say I was a mountain boy.
Mountain boy, right on.
Caves and huge rocks I'd climb on top of.
I bet it was pretty cool.
It was very cool, man.
Yeah.
And I was a youngster. I had this old, I wouldn't call it a motorcycle or a mini bike. It was an in-between inbreed.
Right.
And I roamed the territory with this. We
Hell
lived
yeah.
in the mountains.
Right.
And, I didn't know what a street light was till I was about 7, 8 years old. Then I got hit by a car in Bakersfield, California.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. So,
Did you hit it back?
yes. Yes,
Right
I
on.
did. Yes, I did.
I would.
Yes. So, yeah, born Long Beach, California.
Well, I'll tell you, how old were you when you learned to play?
When I learned to play, let's see, my mother gave me a guitar when I was probably in the 4th grade, and it sat in a corner in my room, like all kids get a guitar and it sits in the room. Right. I got the urge to play guitar when I had somebody who inspired me.
Sure.
And he was a neighbor of mine, good friend.
I love the story, by the way.
You love the story?
I do.
Okay.
Because I know the guy, or knew the guy.
Bob Danaher.
Bob Danaher was a great man.
Bob Danaher gave me the influence. Trade for guitar lessons, I helped him with his house building.
Right.
I thought it was a very fair deal back then.
Yeah, man.
And he had one of his original songs, Skinny Dipping, that caught my eye.
Right.
And you know, I seen what he did. And one day I was in the family. My family and I were in Steak and L, and we walked through the front door, and I hear this guy in there singing, and I didn't know Bob played there.
Right.
But he was already giving me lessons.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And I hear this wonderful voice, this good talented musician.
Right.
And I peek in the doors. There's my buddy Bob. Well, I had to fight my mama to keep me out of that bar in there, which I was way too young to be in there.
Right.
But Bob Danaher, he was good.
Well, you know, it's funny. You and I were talking the other day. I never knew that Bob was the guy that taught you how to play.
Yes.
And I was surprised by that. And you know, it was like a pivotal moment in my decision as to whether I was going to do the show or not.
Right.
And that was exactly the kind of tidbits that people want to hear. And
Right.
it all make sense to me. You know, that this was the right thing for me to do.
Right.
And it was a pivotal moment for me, by the way. So, okay, let's see here. Do you play any more instruments?
Oh yes.
What do you play?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. You play the drums exceptionally well, by the way.
Yeah, I am a drummer. By heart, I love the drums. I sang behind the drums till they figured out I could play guitar. So they got a new drummer, and I went to the front.
Right.
So,
I don't know how you can play drums and sing.
well, originally I'm a trumpet player.
Really?
Yeah, trumpet player. I can play pretty much a lot of instruments: bass, guitar, drums, brass instruments. I can play. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I learned to play. I ran off to Anchorage, Alaska,
Right.
and I got divorced, and I just felt like I needed to get away. And I had some friends that lived there, and they invited me to come up, and so I did so. And then I met a guy named Gary Kerr. He lives in Tallahassee, Florida.
Right.
And his friend Larry Walker, and I'm not sure what part of Florida Larry lives in, or I think he might even live in Georgia. But they used to play, and they had an acoustic thing going on.
Right.
And it was really cool. But they, you know, saw my interest and realized that I was serious about learning how to play. And they took the time and put up with me long enough for me to learn three chords and a capo.
Right.
And, you know, but, you know, I didn't stay there that long. It wasn't too long after that I moved back to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I played three chords and a capo for many years when I played.
Right.
You know, but it was like 99 when I really learned to play. You know, I hooked up with a guy that had a band and could play just about anything. And, you know, he steered me in the right direction. And so I took what Gary and Larry taught me and, you know, and ran with it. And I never dreamed that I would have a band and do what I ended up doing, you know.
Same here. You know, in the sixth grade, probably fifth, sixth grade is when I grabbed this instrument and fell in love with it.
Right.
So,
well, you know, when I was in sixth grade, I think I was in the third grade with the first time I got kicked out of music.
Right.
Miss Lockett apparently didn't appreciate the pictures of her I was drawing, so she kicked me out.
Oh, no.
And so everybody in the school went to music class, and I went to study hall.
Was it stick figure pictures?
Somewhat. It was a big stick.
Yeah.
But and then, you know, man, when I think we were in the 6th or 7th grade, everybody played the flutophone is what we call it, but I think they call it a recorder now. But I couldn't play.
Right.
You know, I'm dyslexic, so, you know, reading music is just out of the question for me.
Right.
And so, you know, I've suffered from dyslexia my whole life. And back then, nobody really knew what it was, you know.
Right.
But I couldn't play the recorder either. And so I ended up having to play the bass drum, you know. And I just never was really into music, you know. It's just really strange how it ended up being something that I do.
And look at you now.
Yeah, and it affected my life.
Yeah.
You know, I tell Gary and Larry all the time, you guys freaking gave me the gift of music, and I can't thank you enough because it absolutely changed my life.
Right.
It may not have happened back then, but it eventually did happen, you know. And
thank God it did, right?
yeah, thank God it did, man. I don't know what I'd do without music. You know, I don't really play that much anymore, and it's different for me now after my accident. But you know, I don't. You know, I'm so blessed to have done what I did, you know, and achieved what I achieved, you know. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm starting to talk about me. We need to be talking about you, man. Okay, let's see here. Do you remember when you wrote your first song?
When I wrote my first song, my friend.
And do you remember what it was about?
Yeah, I remember the first time I wrote a song. It's the song that saved the marriage. Stay.
Right. Stay.
Stay.
Right. And that was your first song.
That's originally my first song by myself, me,
Right.
without no help from nobody or nothing.
I got you.
Yeah. What's funny about that, when I wrote that song, it felt like somebody's pushing my pen also.
Sure.
All right. It was wrote in 15, 20 minutes also.
It's like an out-of-body experience. I know
Yes,
exactly
yes,
what you're
yes.
talking about.
When it happens, it happens. You can't
You
stop
know,
the words.
the words come to you so fast, you can't write them down fast enough.
Right, right. I had so many words, I had to leave a quarter of them out. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? But anyways, this was really the irony of this song. I had two good friends that couldn't play or sing or do nothing.
Right.
And they loved that song so much, they said, teach us how to play.
Teach us
Because
how
I
to
didn't have
play.
no band. This is before any band, really,
Right,
you
right.
know. And I taught my one friend, Jerry Vansell, to play a bass guitar,
Really?
one note at a time. He
Right.
didn't know nothing else but stay.
Right.
My other friend was a little bit of a drummer. He could keep a little beat,
Right.
and he had a set of drums. So we all rounded up guitars and amps and drums, and we made Stay. Well, I showed them how to play it.
Right, right.
And they couldn't play nothing else. I don't care what it was. That was the only thing they could
Right.
play. Yeah, one song.
Right.
You know, they could play.
Right.
And
That's strange. So, Ian, what was your inspiration behind that song? You remember?
yeah. If there wasn't really inspiration, I thought about people's ups and downs in life. Heartache. I had people that their spouse left them, and you know, it kind of influenced you when
Right.
you see it around you.
Right.
Physically, it didn't happen to me like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it just being on the outer person looking into other people's troubles.
Right.
Could I almost like that?
Right. I get you. I get it.
But yeah.
Right. That makes
yeah,
sense.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I know there was a point in my life when I truly, truly felt the power of music. Do you remember when that happened for you?
Power of music.
How it affects people and how it affects me and
The first time when you're on a stage and people scream at your music,
right.
there's your power of music. There's your fuel, because you want to keep on writing. You want to keep on. You want that same energy on that stage at every show you do.
Right. Right.
So I'd have to say the first time my music hit the stage, all right,
Right.
and people danced to it.
Right.
People paid at the door
Right.
to come see me.
I understand.
You understand?
I do.
That's when the power comes into you.
It's a big deal. I
But
mean,
don't let your head get huge.
Yeah, right. But
That's the whole
for me,
thing.
it just kind of gave me a sense of validation that I was actually doing it. you know?
Right. It validates.
Right.
Yeah.
So
You're doing something right.
I understand. I
Yeah.
do. I understand. You know, for me, it's kind of a long story, and I'll cut it short. But I had a good friend, David Hurwitz was his name. He lived in
Right.
San Antonio, and he was a San Antonio fireman. Okay,
Uh-huh.
and his son was a friend of mine, and he was like a customer at work, and he was the first customer that I made friends with. And
Right.
he invited me back to his place for Easter one day, and I met his family, and I played the guitar for them, and they loved it, you know. And so they would constantly invite me out to play at their place, you know. And he would always ask me questions. Man, I know you lived in Alaska, and I've never seen snow in my entire life, because he lived in San Antonio his entire life. He goes, "What's it like?" You know. So
Right.
we talk about the snow and different things. Anyway, David retired from the San Antonio Fire Department, and it was such a tragic thing. They were on their way to New Mexico to go snow skiing, and they were involved in a
Right.
traffic accident, and he was killed. And
Oh no.
they asked me to sing at his funeral. Well, man, I'd never done anything like that before. You know, I couldn't say no. You know, they were my friends for crying
I
out
know
loud.
how you feel.
But I had no idea the gravity of the situation and how it would affect me. But I was supposed to do 3 songs, and I only did one, and it was Vince Gill's "Go Rest on That Mountain."
Right.
And when I was done with that, man, I was freaking done. And I went and sat down, and the old style of funeral parlors, you know, the people sit out here, and the family sits behind like a partition. Well, I'm directly across from them, so I can't hide from them.
Right.
And they're going like, "What the heck, man? You know what you do?" And I just put my head down, put my put my face in my hands, and I was just bawling, man. I mean, it really, really traumatized me to get up there and try to do that. And it was that point that I realized, you know what, man, there's something about this whole music thing.
Right.
It affects me more than it does anybody else, as far as I know. I've never seen anybody else react that way to it.
Right.
So it's got to be something more than just something that I do.
Right.
You know, it's got to be more to it than that.
That's where the
and
heart,
that's when
that's where the heart comes.
Right, and that's at that point is when I started really taking music seriously.
Right.
You know, and it wasn't just something I did to have fun. You know, I started being serious about it
Right.
and writing serious songs and putting some effort into it. And man, it changed my life, man. Absolutely, I ended up quitting my job, and you know, my daughter had just turned 18, so my child support was up,
Right.
and so. You know, man, it was just the perfect time. Everything came kind of lined up, and that's when I quit, and I started playing music full time, and ended up going to Nashville for a while, and you know, that's kind of how it happened for me.
Right.
But the power of music is an incredible thing, and not everybody feels it, and I understand that. But the few that are lucky enough to feel it, man, it's an amazing feeling, no doubt. Let's see here. Okay, well, how about your family? Was there music in your family?
My mother played piano.
Really? Mine did too. Yeah.
Other than that, none of my brothers or sisters, none. Siblings, none.
Yeah, neither
They
mine.
can't even sing.
But it was in my family though. I had a lot of my mother's side
Well,
of the
I
family.
can't lie. My sister can sing.
Yeah.
And her daughter can sing. But,
Yeah.
And her daughter can sing. So.
Well, my mom had her aunt, Aunt Bonnie
Right.
Laughlin from
Right.
Eagle Lake, and she could play anything on the piano. Like she could play like Jerry Lee Lewis or Mozart or whoever.
Really?
She was incredible, man. And she kind of helped my mom out and bought my mom a piano when she was young. My mother had a rheumatic fever when she was a kid.
Right.
And so she was stuck in the house. And so Aunt Bonnie bought her this piano, and she learned to play. But she would never play. You know, the older she got, she just really stopped playing.
Right.
But she really gave me a lot of encouragement when I decided to play. And when I told her that I was going to quit my job, making $100K a year, and play music full time, you know, she looks at me and she goes, "I'm so happy for you, honey." You know, whose parents say that? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But my mom was like, "I'm so happy. I'm so glad that you really finally decided to go ahead and pursue your music because, you know, I love what you do, you know, and I'm so proud of you." And I mean, it just made me, you know, all warm and fuzzy, you know. But you know, man, I was very lucky that my mom supported me so much. Well, you know, out of all the songs that you've written, okay, do you have a favorite one? Is there one that sticks out in your mind?
Man, that's a hard question.
It is a hard question.
That is a hard, because they all stay. Favorite. Crazy is a fun song.
Yeah.
But if you're asking my internal, I'd have to say stay.
Stay?
Yeah, the first one I wrote has meaningful because it is the first one I wrote.
Right.
So, like your first child. You know?
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. Well, do you have a favorite artist?
Me? No, I'm joking.
Besides you?
No, I'm joking. Man, I'm a straight fan.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm a straight fan.
It's
Yeah.
hard to beat George, man. He is king of country.
He's the man.
Right,
So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, okay, now when you write a song, okay,
Right.
I think you mentioned it before. Do you have a certain formula that you use? I mean, you said something about you playing the music first and then writing the lyrics to it.
Always write the music first.
Yeah.
Because without a melody
Right.
in the music, what
Right.
you got?
Right.
You're lost in your words.
Sure.
Right?
Right. You're exactly right. You know,
That's how I look at it.
the way I do it is I just come up with the music part of the riff, and I just play it over and over and over and over until it makes me think about whatever it is I think about, and that's what I write the song about.
My words don't come until I'm just laying down and I'm playing that music, or I'm sitting
In your
there,
head?
and I'll keep playing
Right.
it, and the first word will pop out because it will. It'll jump out at me.
Sure.
And then I go from there.
Well, are most of your songs from true life experiences, or are they fiction?
Mine and, well, both. Fiction but nonfiction, because they are about other people.
Sure.
So it's real.
Right. Well, is
Yeah.
there one particular song that you'd like to be remembered for?
Stay.
Stay. Right on. That seems to be the general song for you.
Yeah.
And that's a great song. I love
Great
it.
song.
I love it.
Everybody likes, what they like.
Right. Well, what do you do when you're not playing music? Besides work?
Besides work,
Yeah.
working on a 365-acre ranch.
Yeah, that's right. You're a ranch hand.
Yeah. I have some good people I work for.
Right. You're very fortunate.
Dean and Jack Corey.
Right.
Yeah.
I've met them before.
Yeah.
You introduced me
Good people.
at one of the parties y'all had out there.
Yes.
Right.
And on my spare time, I like flying RC airplanes. I can't lie.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I used to love RC airplanes.
I got 54 of them, and
Do you really?
my wife.
I had no
goes
idea.
Nuts. Yeah.
I had no idea that you did that. That's freaking cool, man.
You can't hide them in the house. They're everywhere.
Right?
Yes.
Well, way back in my day, I had the ones that had the little string on them.
Oh, I still.
It wasn't really RC.
I have them also. Yes.
And I get dizzy in the heck, and end up falling down.
Yeah.
Because it was tough, man.
Right.
Well, what is important to you? What kind of thing matters in your life to you personally?
Family.
Family, right on.
Family.
Yeah, and I agree with you, man. Family's so important. What do you do without them?
Yeah, right.
My family has supported me through thick and thin, my entire life. My dad, we still live together. He's one of the hardest working men I've ever known in my entire life. His work ethic is incredible.
There you go.
And he's so honest and such a good Christian man. I wish, I say it all the time. I wish I were more like him.
Right.
But man, his work ethic. He's 83, and when he was in his 60s, he could work any two guys in the freaking ground, man.
Right.
He was just that good,
Right.
But yeah, man, I do. I wish I were more like him.
Texas Country Live, brought to you by Performance Connections and Thread Rep LLC for all your torque turn and thread rep needs. Triangle Express for all your hotshot flatbed shipping needs. Triangle Express is a veteran-owned and locally operated business. At Triangle Express, we get it there on time, every time. Triangle Express, we deliver. Now hiring owner-operator. Call 979-595-8871.
Well, are you a country boy?
I'm a country boy.
Right on, man.
I am a country boy.
I don't come across
city. I don't like concrete.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, man, I don't really come across as being a country boy, but that's who I am.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, but that being said, what elements do you think a good country song should contain?
Not about mama.
Not about mama.
No. That's a joke.
Well, if it is a true original from the heart type song about your mama, then go for it, brother.
It depends on the situation.
Sure.
It's all what about. The mama thing was just a joke. Don't take that seriously, people. But no, I mean, a structure of a song, you always have to have something to write about.
Right.
And you have to write something that's not boring, put people to sleep. Good subject.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, who has given you the most support in your life as far as your music goes?
I'd have to say my wife.
Your wife, right on. Anita, she's here. Hey, girl. Yeah, man, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, you can't go wrong with that, man.
Nope.
Absolutely, you're a lucky man.
Especially when I go home.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. Okay, let's kind of throw you a curve here. What's the
Sure.
craziest thing that's ever happened to you at one of your shows?
Oh no.
I told the story about your ex-drummer.
Craziest thing happened to me at a show. I drove probably 2 hours to a show. I was playing drums.
Right.
Get all the way there. We're fixing to kick off. I'm kind of slagging a little bit, setting up.
Right.
And then you hear the screech scream from me.
Oh, man.
Forgot my kick pedal.
Oh, no.
Yes, my kick pedal and my drum.
Oh, no.
And for almost 3 sets of music, I played kicking it with
Right.
my foot.
Right.
And, yes.
Come here, baby. Come here. Hey.
And all I was doing was kicking it with my foot. Boom, boom.
Oh,
boom.
man.
Lifted my foot up.
That's crazy.
That's hard.
I
That's
can't
very
even
hard.
imagine.
But I did it.
Well, I played little drums before my accident. I could still feel my feet. And it's not easy, man. It's pretty hard.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder than what I anticipated, for sure. But let's see here. Okay, I'll tell you what. Would you rather play for a couple hundred people in a bar who are really not paying any attention to you at all? They're finishing their day or whatever, having an after work drink. Or would you rather play for 10 people who are totally involved and totally committed to what you're going on?
I think that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, really. For me too as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 10 people. Giving them 10 people that
Right.
just love us to
And
death.
man, I need applause. It's tough
Right.
to play when nobody's paying attention. It's really hard.
Right.
I used to, I'd be
Especially
talking. Go ahead.
If you don't have a dancing crowd, or
Right.
just a sitting crowd,
Right.
and you got 100 people out there,
Right.
you feel like you're doing something wrong, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's terrible. But man, I used to do this funny thing. I'd be talking to people and they're not paying any attention to me at all. And then
Right.
I start whispering over the microphone.
Right.
And everybody turn around like, what is he doing? What's he saying? And they start listening to me. It's funny. The
Start
human
snoring
psyche
or
is
something.
crazy, man.
Right.
But let's see here. Okay, man. What's the best show you ever played in your life?
Oh man.
Or the worst show, either one.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'd have to say one of the best shows I ever done was for 9/11 at Firehouse Music.
Right.
The energy in that place, guy.
Wow.
You walked in the door, you felt the love.
There's no substitute for that.
There's no substitute. And
Absolutely
there's
not.
no wrong. You can't do nothing wrong.
Right.
Pretty much that feeling.
Right.
The crowd, a few thousand people I had, it was like ants out there, my friend, just screaming. And
Right.
when I hit the first note on that guitar, there was many other bands there, and I was behind a swing band,
Right.
and they had this big stand-up bass, and I said, "Oh my God, I got to go after them."
Right.
And they were just wonderful, you know.
Right.
And then they called our name up. It was the Swamp Stompers, by the way, Frank Johnson and the Swamp
Really?
Stompers. Yes.
Right on.
And I was with them at the time, and we hit that stage, brother. The first strum of the chord, they were shoving tables, hooting and hollering.
Wow.
It was
That's awesome.
unbelievable.
I bet.
You understand?
I bet.
Unbelievable. And it was just a flawless, wonderful night that you could ever go home thinking you did the best job.
Right.
You did. You know, I mean, you went home thinking, I couldn't do nothing better. Because
Right.
that's how good it was.
Right.
So,
I opened for a girl that was playing at Rock, Wine, and Blues.
right.
And, you know, I played my first set, and then she came up and played.
Right.
And it was a hard act to follow, you know, and she's beautiful. Susan Hickman was her name.
Right.
Beautiful, and could sing like, you know, a bird, and she just,
Right.
you know, a lovely girl and a lovely act. And her band was great. So, you know, I'm about to go back up on and play.
Right.
And I'm just by myself on the acoustic on the side stage. And Scott Henley, the guy that owned the place, comes to me and goes, "Man, what are you going to play? This is an important moment for you. These people are listening to you.
Right,
They're paying attention.
right.
You know, you need to know what you're going to play." And I never thought about it. And I started freaking out. You know, when he told me that, started getting nervous. And I don't get nervous. You know.
Right.
And so I played this song. I think it's a Pinkert and Bowden song. It's a really old
Right,
song that
right,
I
right.
learned like when it was on MTV. I used to, or not MTV, but CMT. It's called "Oh Blue," and it's just like a country song
Right.
about a dog.
Right.
You know. And so I played "Old Blue," which is just totally out of whack, totally out of character, and you know, way out in left field. And man, it was like when I got done with that, they were looking at me like, "What in the heck is this guy doing?" You know. And so it's a drop D
Right.
tuning, and so you know, a song that I would do in drop D was "Country Boy Can't Survive." So I
Right.
followed it with "Country Boy Can't Survive," and man, when I did that, dude, I'm telling you, it was like it didn't matter what I did after that, and they were you know.
Right.
They were just happy to be there, you know, and it was a great mix between Susan and I, because, you know, I'd get up and do what I did, and then she'd get up and do what she did, and man, they were just happy as they could be. Scott told me it was one of the best liquor sales nights he'd ever had at that venue, you know.
Right.
I missed that place. You know, it shut down shortly thereafter that Scott sold it. And,
Right.
but it was a great venue, man. It was awesome, you know, Rock, Wine, and Blues. But, well, you know, would you rather be the strongest player in your band, or would you rather be the weakest guy?
I would want everybody to be equal.
Equal, you think?
Equal.
Yeah.
I don't need no superstars. I don't need no,
Right.
you know, I need equal. Everybody equal. That's
Right.
what it's about. I'm no better than the next person.
Right.
And that person ain't no better than that person.
Sure.
We are a unit.
A unit, right? And you have a great band, Great Unknowns. They were
Yeah.
awesome, man.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed watching them play.
I appreciate it.
I think the last time I went and saw you play, I just played with a band that I just started with, and we weren't real tight, you know, because
Right.
we just kicked it off, you know.
Right.
And I went over and heard you play and how tight your band was, and I was like, man, you got a lot of work to do, buddy.
You made me feel really good that night.
Well, you know what?
because,
But I was
you know,
being honest, though, you
yeah,
know, and that's
yeah.
when I saw your drummer. I talked about him on my
Right.
last podcast. I'm still not going to mention his name.
Right.
But, you know, I was so proud of him, man. He
Right.
really, really turned his life around and was such a badass drummer compared to the way, you know, he's always good, but he was never badass.
Right.
But, you know, man, I was so proud of him. He's doing really good now.
Yeah.
But, well, man, that just about wraps it up. I'll tell you what, let's take a quick break, and we'll come back and see if we can get you to play a couple.
Probably could.
And
I'll play you that stay. How
right
about
on, play that. And
And-
whatever else you want to play,
that? Yeah.
and, you know, we'll kick it off. Okay, everybody. Mike Wilson here with me. I'm Rod Binion. This is Texas Country Live, and we'll be right back.
Triangle Express for all your hotshot flatbed shipping needs. Triangle Express is a veteran-owned and locally operated business. At Triangle Express, we get it there on time, every time. Triangle Express, we deliver. Now hiring owner-operators. Call 979-595-8871. 59 Hangout, 23736 US 59, Suite F in Porter, Texas. Y'all come see us. Pool tournaments, dart leagues, and cold beer. Check us out on Facebook. 59 Hangout. Come hang out with us. 281-704-7177. Texas Country Live, brought to you by Performance Connections and Thread Rep LLC for all your torque turn and thread rep needs.
Okay, everybody, we're back. Rod Binion here, Texas Country Live. My buddy Mike Wilson going to play a couple original tunes for you. Knock it out, buddy.
Sure, sure. Well, like we were talking before, Rod, this song that saved that marriage,
Right.
I'd like to do for y'all. And I hope it can help somebody out there if you like to try.
Your fan right here, she wants to hear you.
It's called Stay, guys. Well, I was standing by your window pane. My heart was filled with flames, thinking of you in my mind. Well, I was wondering what happened all this time. So wrong for being blind. I was running around being a fool. Well, how can I get you back to loving me this way? And what can I do to show you I'm not afraid? And now I know, well, I was wrong for letting you go away. So please, oh please, stay.
Right on.
Could have buy you a rose, could have sing you a song. Can I lay down here beside you until the early morning dawn? There's so many things I need, but without you and me, there's a hole in my heart. I hope you can see. Well, how can I get you back to loving me this way? And what can I do to show you I'm not afraid? And now I know, well, I was wrong for letting you go away. So please, oh please, stay.
Right on, man. Heck yeah, buddy. That was awesome, man.
Thank you.
I love that song.
Thank you.
I've heard you play it before many times. So, you got another one?
You know what? I'm gonna do one. I think you're gonna like this, Rod.
Okay, let's do one more.
It's
Why
one.
not?
It's the one that you like.
All right.
And I tell you what, there's one other person that loves the heck out of it, and I gotta shout out Bubba.
Right on, Bubba.
Glenn Lawrence out there, if you're listening, this one's to you too, buddy. It's called Do the Things You Do.
You know, Bubba, yeah, he learned to play guitar so fast. He did good, man.
Not little Bubba.
Oh, you're talking about Big Bubba?
Tiny.
Ah, okay,
Tiny
I got
Glenn
you.
Lawrence, my
I got
friend.
you.
But we call him Bubba. So this is to you,
I love
buddy.
Tiny, man. He's a good
Yeah,
dude.
man. Hope y'all enjoy this one. But this one here, before I start this song, I must say something real quick.
Sure.
This song, and my good buddy Scotty Williams has a big part of this song. Scotty
Right.
does. He came to me with the structure of this song and some words, and we both sat down and put this thing together. And I tell you what, I have to give credit where credit's due.
Sure.
So,
Right on.
yes, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mike Wilson.
1, 2, ready, go. Walking down the street on a Sunday afternoon, me and my missus been right about June. People talk about the things we say. Well, I don't care because you know my way with you. I'm in heaven because you do the things you do. Don't need a match to light our fire. Kiss from you sends me higher and higher. Backwood path leads to our castle. Sweet summer bird drowns out the wind in the trees. Oh yeah. Time has come, the all would see. If you were my trick or treat, I was like Jack without you, but you're going my way. Now the light keeps shining on me every day. With you, I'm in heaven, 'cause you do the things you do. With you, I'm in heaven, 'cause you do the things you do.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. We're taking a quick break right here. Y'all give it up for Mr. Mike Wilson, taking his time out to come in here today.
And I want to thank you for having me today.
And we'll come back and we're going to do Shoot It or Boot It, sponsored by McCurry's Auto in Huffman, Texas. Cecil is the most honest guy I know, and he will take care of you. So give us a few minutes. We'll be right back. Thank you for having us.
McCurry's Auto Repair, LLC. We work hard to earn your trust and loyalty. We know how important it is to find a Huffman car service you can rely on. So your satisfaction is our top priority each and every day. McCurry's Auto Repair, 3731 Trent Road, Huffman, Texas. McCurry's Auto Repair. Come feel the difference.
Okay, everybody, we're back. My name's Rod Billions. My buddy Mike Wilson here.
Mike Wilson.
We're going to do this segment called Shoot It or Boot It. And I'm going to ask you about an adult beverage, and you tell me whether you would shoot it or boot it.
What if I want to do both?
And then you do whatever you got to do, brother.
I got you, bro.
Okay, this is sponsored by McCurry's Auto, Huffman, Texas. Cecil McCurry, good man. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's kick it off. Shoot it or boot it, tequila.
Shoot it.
Haha. Shoot it or boot it, Jack.
Boot it.
Shoot it or boot it, Jägermeister.
Boot it.
Ha ha ha. Shoot it or boot it, moonshine.
Shoot it.
Shoot it, right on.
Right on.
How about Fireball?
Shoot it.
Shoot it, there you go. Rumplemints.
Boot it.
Wild turkey.
Run. I have to boot that. Yes.
A red wine.
We'll shoot red wine.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Southern Comfort.
We'll shoot that.
Right on. And the last one to finish it up, Jim Beam.
We'll shoot that one too.
Shoot it, dude. Bourbon. Heck yeah.
That's
Why
right.
not?
Why not?
Okay, Mike Wilson.
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
brother. I really appreciate you coming out
I
tonight.
appreciate it, my
Taking
friend.
your time doing this
Yes,
for me,
sir.
man. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Okay,
everybody.
ladies and gentlemen, Texas Country Live. I'm your host, Rod Binion, and we're out of here. My buddy Mike Wilson. Y'all look for him out. He's playing out a couple nights a week.
We'll be out at the Texas Thunder the 19th
Texas
of
Thunder
November.
tonight out in the field store.
Field store area on 1488, 830, 1230. Come
Right,
on
and
out.
I'm telling you, man, I've seen this band play, and it's well worth the travel, and it's a great show, man.
The great
Okay.
unknowns.
We're out of here. Thank you for joining us. Texas Country Live, brought to you by Performance Connections. We perform at every turn. We'll see y'all later.
Goodbye,
Thank you.
everybody.